You know, the way God designed us as men and women is sort of interesting. Never ever had a woman come in and say, you know what I love about my husband? I love his effeminate nature. Just love it. Haven't had a man come in and say, boy, you know what I love about my wife? I love her masculine nature with his nails. What I'm saying is there's sort of a game plan here. Women, quite frankly, are a little bit like crock pots. Men are like, what? Microwaves, someone once said? Makes sense, doesn't it? We see life completely different. We men, if we could just understand women, could be the Arthur Fiedler-like personality, the one that makes sweet music together because we conduct things, we bring everything around in such of an aura where husband and wife can come together and have some oneness. Making a marriage work today is tough enough. It's tough enough because you women are so, what's the right word? Different. Different. That was so much better than what I was thinking of saying. And again, I've been married for 30 years. You know, I don't understand women. I'm still learning.
Sure, I'm sure. It's just if you've seen one cathedral, you've seen them all.
Okay, Harold.
It's only a stupid cathedral.
It's not the cathedral, Harold. It's the last 15 years.
The ability to talk with each other effectively. It seems so simple, yet at the same time, it seems so difficult. It has become so rare that when good communication happens these days, it almost seems like magic. But is it magic? Are people born with these skills? No. Good communication skills are something which you have to work at to develop. And therein lies the problem.
Something I've discovered in almost 37 years is that boys and girls are different. And it isn't just a physical thing, it's the way they think. It's what motivates them and drives them.
No two people can live together and not have some grudges, have some things that they think, well, if they'd only do this or if they'd do that way, I'd be a lot happier. But that goes both ways. And probably the most important thing I think any couple has, any relationship, is you've got to be able to communicate. I've never seen an argument yet where one was right and the other was wrong. I think from their own perspective, they were both right and needed to understand the perspective of the other person in the partnership. You're not going to be madly in love every single day of your life, and there are going to be times when you can look at that person and say, I really, really don't like you today. But that doesn't mean that the love that you have isn't still there. It's just at that time circumstances are such that you don't want to, that you maybe need to have a little bit of space. You know, people ask me, how do you stay married 36 and a half years? And I think you work at it. You know, I don't think that one couple, God looked down and said, you're going to stay married, and the other couple, you're not. Anybody can go through the good times. That's easy. You know, a monkey can go through the good times. But I think we find out what we're made out of when it gets a little tough, when the sledding's a little tough.
His biggest beef with me was that I was not being respectful of his feelings, that I didn't act like I liked him. He knew I loved him, but he didn't know that I liked him as a person. We weren't friends. We didn't talk to each other as friends. We didn't respect each other as friends. You know, we were lovers, but not friends.
She always used to ask me, you know, a penny for your thoughts. And I would say, what's that mean? But now I realize that it's a really powerful tool for her to really know what she's thinking and ask about that.
I knew that he wanted me as a female, as someone that he enjoyed being with, but I didn't hear it from him. I didn't hear, wow, you look great today, or or, I'm really glad that you and I are together, or I didn't hear that constant reaffirmation of his feelings for me. And that's something that I crave, and I don't know a woman who doesn't crave it.
I always knew it inside, but it's like I didn't understand it, and I guess you can call it a light bulb. When the light bulb clicked on, then I understand that the little small stuff was really, really important to her. So I realized my mistakes. I understand where I was wrong.
No feeling is wrong, but there are some feelings that you own. And if you develop all kinds of perceptions in your mind, you can let them run and really mess up a common conversation. And it can turn out to a drag-out fight. If you leave those perceptions alone and get rid of them and just stick with what the truth is, and you learn my truth and I learn your truth, it's so much easier.
Try this one on for size. Are there different needs for married men and women in marriage? I think there are. Number one need for a woman in marriage, what is it? Affection. Number two, honesty, openness, communication. Not one of our specialties, gentlemen.
It is interesting that men and women have a very different style. Women come from a very nurturing, caring place. Men come from a very logical, fix-it place. So when you're talking to each other, especially in couple relationships, men will interpret women's tears or women's anguish as they've got to fix it and not really listening to what is really going on. And women, on the other hand, are very ready just to take care of everything for their man, and they don't allow him to go ahead and feel the feelings that they need to.
Okay, differences in men and women. Affection, honesty and openness, communication. Number three, commitment to the family. Now that's the female side. Flip it around. Oh, why don't you women try to answer this one, because you know us so well. What's the number one need for a married man in marriage? Sex? No. See, you all think you understand this. You really don't. It's not sex. It's sexual fulfillment. And there's a huge difference between sexual fulfillment and sex.
So I think if people, families, couples were prepared with some basic communication skills that would allow them to be able to talk to each other in a way that was really honoring, in a place that they were listening so that they could really understand each other and not respond in a defensive or emotional way, it would really serve them and their relationships better.
So the truth of the matter is, men and women, we're on different planets. I think one of us is on Pluto. I won't point the finger as to which one, but we're yards apart. But the key to making it in marriage is understanding the different needs that men and women have in marriage. And I'm telling you, they are different.
Okay, I think that we're beginning to see that men and women have different expectations from a relationship, and that we express those expectations in very different ways. But through the creative application of the C word, communication, we can learn to bridge the gap. But in today's society, it seems that another C word is standing in the way. That word is commitment. Loyalty, if you will. The wherewithal to stand by someone through the bad times as well as the good. But today it seems that everyone is only interested in one thing. What's in it for me?
I expect to get married. I planned, have one wedding, get married, big white dress, church, everything, and be married forever. But then I think about it, it's like everyone I know, of my mother's friends, my parents, my friends' parents, they divorce or they give up, they're having marriage problems, and it's like nobody wants to work them out these days. And even in relationships, you get in a fight with your boyfriend or your girlfriend and it's over, and it's like not everybody wants to stick it through. They give up on things too easily.